Hello everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 15 of Angular CLI. Here we'll know about the ESLint configuration file and what are the rules described in this ESLint config file. So before going through this part 15, please visit my part 14 of Angular CLI, that is linting TypeScript using ESLint, and what are the difference between TSLint and ESLint and why ESLint replaces the TSLint. So you can get this video in my playlist called Angular CLI tutorial. So let's begin in my presentation part. So in this video we'll discuss about explore the ESLint config file and understand the rules for TypeScript and HTML. So basically I'll go to my Visual Studio Code. Before this this is my lint project. It is the Angular 13, so it is the latest version in which I described that the TSLint is not available here, only ESLint is available, because before 13 in the Angular 10 this is the TSLint configuration file is available, right? I already have described this one. So how to set up and install the ESLint in your Angular 13 project, I already have described in my previous video. So I map to my directory, that is lint new proj, and I open my Angular project using Visual Studio Code here. So I already have a file called .eslint.rc.json. It is the ESLint file, and you can see it is the content of ESLint file, right? So I'll describe each steps, what are the meaning of that options, and what are the roles and responsibilities, and what are the rules behind it. So I'll describe everything here. So basically here the rules are defined for two files. One is for TS file, right, and another one is for the HTML file. For these two files the rules are defined in this ESLint. So here root equal to true, that means the config file is the root file, right? And here another option is called ignore patterns. So ignore patterns, that means ESLint should ignore the folder structure. So inside the project folder you can see here whatever files and folders we have that don't apply ESLint rules in their path. That's the work behind this ignore patterns options, right? And next one is overrides. So overrides, it is the key or options in ESLint to configure rules for TS file. Like this, you can set separate rule for HTML, JavaScript, and others. So inside this option, we can mention our own set of custom rules. So here you can see inside override there is another one is a files. So .ts means the TypeScript file. So this is for TS file or TypeScript file, and here the parser options is defined here, right? So parser options is, it shows the ts config.json. It is, you can see in the project, you can see here the tsconfig.json, it is mapped to. So I'll go to my tsconfig.json here. So it is the, here we can target at the script version, right, in the ESLint file. So this is the tsconfig.json file, and it is a content. And here, like here, we can define here the target version. Like here it shows the ES 2017, and the model is defined here as ES 2020, and the alive section, it is mentioned here as ES 2020. So it is the target version, right? So this is the meaning of that option, that project and tsconfig, the parser options, right? So another next one is the extends. So extends is, it will take the configuration from these two plugin, right? The rules whatever written in these plugins, it will take. So inside the extends you can see two plugins are defined here. In plugin column, if we write plugin names, then it will take the configuration. So there are two plugins which we have installed. One is for plugin and Angular ESLint and /recommended. So this one is for TypeScript error, and the next one is Angular ESLint / template and / process inline templates. So this one is for template error, like in HTML like things, right? So this is the work behind the extends option and what are the plugins behind it. And the rules is this one, the rules. So you can see the rules is defined up to this, you can see here, right? So this rules defined is in this section, the of the rules are given, right? So this one is for first one is Angular ESLint directive selector. And so for directive the selector, there should be few rules, like the types should be attribute, and the prefix should be up, and the style should be camel case, right? For this directive selector, this is the rules defined for that selector, that is the directive selector. And next selector is Angular ESLint / component selector. Like directive selector, there is another selector is component selector. For component selector, there should be few rules like here. So for type there is element, and for prefix it should be up, and for style it should be kebab case, right? So this is the we can define for the rules for different selectors inside the rules part. Okay, next one is files for HTML. So the below rules are defined for HTML, right, up to this. So like TS, the same options whatever we have defined and whatever described in this TypeScript section, the same thing we'll discuss about the HTML part. So here also there is extends options here. So it will take the configuration from these, the rules whatever written in this plugin it will take, right? You can see the plugin Angular ESLint / template / recommended. So whatever template files we have loaded, it will load template recommended rules here. So this is the work purpose behind this plugin mentioned here, right? And here the rules are defined, and the rules for HTML template there is no rules defined here, right? So this is all about the ESLint config file, and what are the options behind it, and what are the files we can we have described here, TS and HTML. Also we can make our own rules, that we customize the rules here, right? So this is all about, this is the very simple things we have described today, and we have got the very details about these options, right? So the rules are started here, this ESLint config file up to here, up to this one, right? This is very simple. We have described every options and rules for TypeScript and for HTML. Alright guys, so this is all about ESLint config file or .eslint rc.json. So in next video I'll tell about what are the custom rules we can mention here in this ESLint config file. Okay, let's go to my presentation here. So explore ESLint config file. So whatever I described, I just mentioned here in a text format. So here the two rules are defined for two files, that is TS file and HTML file. And root true, it means the config file is the root file, and what are the ignore patterns, that means ESLint should ignore the folder structure. So inside the project folder, whatever files and folder we have that don't apply ESLint rules. So overrides it is the key in ESLint to configure rules for TS file. Like this you can set separate rules for HTML, JavaScript and others. Inside this we can mention our own set of custom rules, right? So the below rules is for TS file, that's why in the file section we have mentioned .ts, so it is a TS file. Alright, so next one is the parser options. So it shows tsconfig.json. Here we can target a script version like ES 2017. So in ts.config.json we can see the contents here, like target ES 2017, module ES 2020, and liv in it mentioned as ES 2020. So it's the target version we can define here. And the next one is extends. So it will take configuration from this, the rules whatever written in this plugin, it will take. So extends inside the two plugins are defined. One is for recommended, one is for process inline templates. So in plugin column, if we write plugin name, it will take the configuration. There are two plugins which we have installed. First one is for recommended. This is one for TypeScript error, and the next one is ESLint slash template slash process hyphen inline hyphen templates. This one is for template error like in HTML. Explore ESLint config file. So the rules in this section, some of the rules are given. That is the Angular hyphen ESLint directive hyphen selector. For directive selector, this should be few rules like the type should be attribute and the prefix should be up and the style should be camel case. Like this, for component selector, there should be few rules like for type should be element, prefix should be up, and the style should be a kebab case, right? So, and the next last one is another rules for HTML file. So in this file section you can mention here .html. So for extends, it mention like it will take the configuration from this, and the rules whatever written in this plugin it will take, right? So inside extends option we can mention plugins colon angular hyphen ESLint slash template slash recommended. So whatever template files we have, we load template recommended rules. So inside the rules there is no such rules are defined for HTML like this we have already described here, right? So that's why it is the no rules defined here. So this is all about the rules and the options of the ESLint config file, and what are the options and what are the why these options are called inside the config file, and what are the files are defined here. That is the TS file. Another one is HTML file. We can write our own custom rules inside the ESLint file to work on the new rules also. So this one we can do in our next videos. Okay, so this is my YouTube channel. Subscribe and share it to get the up-to-date knowledge on .NET, .NET Core, SQL, C#, and DevOps, Azure. So in this video what we have described today, that is explore ESLint config file and what are the options and its rules, and what are the rules defined for TypeScript and HTML. So that's all about guys. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.